And see how you're doing lying down. Check in with yourself. If it's okay to pull your knees to your chest, do that. Let your shoulders melt down your back, close your eyes. And begin to breathe through your nose. Deliberately shutting everything off, drawing a line around yourself in the cocoon of this class, this practice, and allowing the rest of the world to drift away for this hour. Relax your jaw, your face, and focus your attention on the inhale and the exhale. Your next round of breath, take a long inhale, hold at the top. Sip in another bit at the top, a little more. And then sigh it out, exhale. And make sound as you sigh. We'll do that one more time. Breathe in deeply. Hold at the top and sip in a little bit more. Exhale an audible sigh. And according to science, that is the quickest way for us to discharge and move into a more relaxed state. So discharge our stress and shift our nervous system. Pulling the right knee in close to the body, extend the left leg up to the sky and start to open up your left foot, flex and point. And if you're really feeling it, you could circle the ankle one way and then the other. Keep letting your shoulders drop and let the tension fall out of your elbows. The lacing of the fingers is enough to hold the arms in place. Let the chest spill open out toward the shoulders. And the next time your foot is in dorsiflexion, extend firmly through the heel and spread those toes apart. Gaze lovingly at your foot as you drive your femur bone, your thigh bone, down into the hip socket and circle the leg as though you are circling a platter. A dazzling circle. And then go the other way. Stabilizing with your core rather than your neck and shoulders. Hold in the center and then send the leg all the way down, straight down to the earth. Let it rest deeply as you pull your right knee into your chest. Circle that right leg. Notice if there's extra tightness, a sense of shortness on the inner thigh or the outer thigh. Just take note. And then go the other direction. Oftentimes, the inner and outer thigh are responding to an imbalance at our pelvic floor and our glutes. Holding at the front of the shin, pull that right knee toward the right armpit. With your left hand, smooth down anything that is tight or wrinkled. Just feels like it needs soothing or correcting with this full moon, Aquarian full moon energy. She likes to point out things that can get better. And we are working at the level of the skin, which is very psychological. So just check in with the thickness of your own skin. How are you doing with corrections today? Can you take them in stride and know that anything you learn is going to make you better, even if it kind of stings at first. Pull the right knee into the middle, shift your hips to the right, reach your right arm open as you twist across. With your left hand, again, you're smoothing down that right side. We're bringing in a little of that maybe a lot of that manifesting energy for Heather's HGTV, so that we can all learn from her smart living, her smart home. Melt your shoulders, reach through that right arm, let your right chest open, and begin to circle your right arm down all the way around and track it with your eyes. When you get to the back right corner, you now have kind of a diagonal line from your hip, your left hip to your right fingers. And definitely from your left hip to your right shoulder. Just feel that line, that diagonal. And then send your eyes back and to the right. You may notice a yawn, a release of resistance as the vagal nerve resets. And tell your body, instruct your mind and your body that you are healthy and that anything, any toxins in there can be resolved, can be cleared, can be sweated, peed, or pooped out, that we have the tools within us to heal. Reach through your right arm and roll onto your back and pull your knees back into your body. And we'll take that releasing breath again. Deep breath in through the nose. At the top of that inhale, inhale again, and then audibly sigh out. Shifting our nervous system. And again, deep breath. At the top, sip in more. And then audibly sigh. Just take a few rounds of breath, noticing the difference. Maybe you can take in more air. Maybe muscle knots feel like they're beginning to let go. Maybe there's a greater sense of acceptance and there's more of a palette for learning. Send that right leg up and start to flex and point that right foot. And if you feel like it, you can circle the ankle as well. Both directions. Trying to do it just at the ankles. I mean, I'm bad at this. But try not to turn your knee and your hip as well, just the ankle. If you're circling, then you can go back to that flex and point. And then hold a nice strong dorsiflexion, spreading the sole of the foot open and the toes apart. See if you can feel that along the back of the leg. Let's bring a little heat into that right knee. Take your hands and just at the superficial level of skin, we're going to just rub heat into the sides, back in front of the knee to get all of the angles. And then down to the calf muscle, which might be limiting the range of the knee. And the front of the shin, those tibialis. And the quadriceps above the knee, hamstrings behind. And then go ahead, and give that leg a circle. Circle that flatter. And then go the other way. And what we're doing is we're getting some nice fluid in that hip, some nice good synovial fluid to make it cushier in there. And if you have any arthritis or anything kind of debilitating in there, this fluid will help a lot. It just makes it cushier and more comfortable to live in your body. And then send that right leg all the way down. I landed on bruiser. And let it sink heavily into the earth. Pulling on that left knee, circle it. And again, we're getting it nice and lubricated in that hip socket, in that hip joint. And I gave a tip earlier to Karen. I think it's really interesting, putting ginger on a joint. So you basically tape it on there, some comfortable tape. Ginger root at 6 p.m. at night. And you can sleep in it or take it off before bed. And if the skin gets hot, you know that it's working because it's pulling the inflammation from the joint up to the skin. And you may actually feel like you're going to burn, but you won't. Pull your left knee toward the left armpit and soothe down your body with your right hand. Smooth and soothe. Work at the level of the skin. Opening yourself up to whatever discoveries are going to be made today with the bright light of this moon. Pull your knee into the middle, shift your hips over to the left, and the knee goes across. Left arm opens to the left, and turn your head to the left. Soothe and smooth down your left side, letting that outer hip roll toward the right foot, opening up that left waist. See if you can arch your back just a little bit and let that left pec muscle open toward the left shoulder. Melt tension from your neck and traps. Start to circle your left arm all the way around, tracking it with your eyes. Stirring up that energy to manifest whatever it is you want or release. Full moons are really good for releasing anything we're holding too tightly. For me, it's a lot. I did a lot of releasing. It's going to do a lot more. And let that left arm come to a angle, a diagonal with your right hip. So it's the back left corner of your space. See if you can feel that lightning bolt of energy from the right hip to the left shoulder, from the right foot to the left fingers. And look to the back left corner of your space as far as your eyes can stretch. And this will elicit something, probably a yawn or a swallow or a lot of blinking. And it helps you to let go of resistance, helps your body to move into a parasympathetic space where it can heal more, where it can make more of those good things for neuroplasticity, so we can learn more, BDNF, and I'm thinking of that liver hormone. And then reach, is it IGF-1? I think so. And then reach to that left arm, roll onto your back, and pull your knees into your chest. Now, let's go ahead to the pelvic floor area. We're not going to touch the pelvic floor itself, but just parallel to it, just adjacent. I want you to rub or poke, kind of press into the space between your thigh and like the outer labia. So outer labia on the left side, just push into all that space. This is kind of the attachment of the canopy of the pelvic floor. So from your left sits bone, basically to your hip flexors, poke around that bikini line area. This is going to turn on the pelvic floor if it's off, and it's going to help turn off the pelvic floor if it's stuck on. Often it's one or the other. It's just not turning on in all the right places or off. And this can, and then go to the right side. This can lead to sensitivity in the lower back, in the inner and outer thighs. So you can have pain in your IT bands or in your adductors. And this will help turn on the core muscles of that pelvic floor and let everything else go back to doing its own job. Now I have more pain on my left side generally, but as I feel here, I can feel that the right pelvic floor side is the side that's locked up. So we're just giving it a tiny bit of stimulation, just a little jiggle. And usually that's all you need for your brain to go, oh, huh, and fix it. Okay. And then hug your knees back together to see if you have more access to your Kegel. So that Kegel, if it just like, whoop, just kind of turns on way more easily. Or maybe yours always did, but just notice if you can turn it on and drop it with ease and not use your toes. So I don't know if I'm sure you weren't watching me, but if you were, you would have seen that my toes go over the Kegel muscle each time. This is normal, but we want to see if we can do it without the toes, without the feet moving. This is connected also into orgasm. We talked about this one time, that people point their toes, they use their feet a lot to achieve orgasm. And that's something we want to uncouple. I mean, it's good to know about in a pinch, but also something we want to couple so that we can do it without using our feet. And then take your hands behind your head. Just rest in the laurels of a nice strong pelvic floor. And a strong pelvic floor is one that can engage and release. A muscle that stays on ends up tight, and then we end up with weakness. Lift your head and shoulders up, and as you curl up away from the floor, pull your tummy toward the ground. If it poofed up like mine likes to do, that's not what we want. So when we build tummies, stronger ab muscles to have it be flatter, we want to pull the top part down toward the ground. Tuck your tailbone under a little bit and move your knees into tabletop, so probably forward. Keep engaging the belly. If you can, release the head, take the hands forward, and start to curl up a little bit higher with your torso as you kind of rolling pin your tummy down toward the back. Sorry, it takes effort for me. And then roll the head all the way down to the floor and come up one vertebra at a time. At the top, tuck your tailbone, rolling pin your belly down. Now spread your toes, flex them, and then come down one vertebra at a time. Inhale at the bottom, exhale to roll up. Chin is tucked, knees are in tabletop. Tuck the tailbone a little bit more at the top, and then come all the way down. I mean, I'm not going anywhere near that height. Let me see what happens if I do. I'll try it. Come on up. She went up into boat. Yeah, I guess we could do that. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Okay. Inspired by Elena. Let's stay up in boat. Bring your hands together, interlace them, and we're going to Russian twist here, right to left. We'll do 10 each side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now we're going to stay to the right, turn our knees to the right, and we're going to try to press our legs out and then jackknife in. I'm on an angle. I'm going to press my feet out and jackknife in. I'm on my right hip. Out and squeeze it in. Try to get that left oblique to turn on for 5, 4. Oh yeah, you can twist to the left. That makes it funner, more fun. I think funner is officially a word now. 3. So right here. 2. And squeeze it in. Come to the center. Let's pivot onto that left hip. Feet go to the right. Hands go to the right. And then we press out. Hands go left. As we squeeze in, hands go to the right. So it's a twist at that rib cage. And we stay on that left hip as we go out and in. 8, 7, exhale as you blow it out. As you go out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to the middle, hold. Arms forward, slowly roll her down. Hug your knees to your chest. Circle your knees apart, forward and together. And hopefully those hips are nice and lubricated. The shoulders, neck are relaxed. The face is relaxed. Knees go forward, apart, and in. Some switching directions. Feet come down to the mat when you feel ready. Tucking the pelvic floor, tucking the tailbone under, press the low back into the ground. Kegel the pelvic floor and raise your buttocks up. Lift up onto the right toes, raising the right heel, lower. Left heel, lower. And we'll just switch like that, engaging the back of the legs, 5 each side. 5, 4, 3, flatten the belly, 2, and 1. Raise both heels up, squeeze your butt up toward the ceiling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, turn on those glutes. 3, 2, tiny little pulses. 5, pull up the Kegel 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the pelvic floor, relax the buttocks, roll down slowly, lower the heels, and stretch your arms overhead. Let the back arch, be decadent in this bend. And hug your knees, grab the ankles, nice happy baby. You can also grab the feet if that's your preference, but keep your low back rolled out. Flex the feet toward the sky. Find that contrast, that oppositional force of feet pushing toward the ceiling and hands pulling down toward the floor. Press knees into elbows and vice versa. And notice the pelvic floor attachment to the legs. Here, are you able to feel that area we brought awareness to? If you noticed one side were more tight, are the adductors, are the inner thigh muscles feeling short there? Do they feel short on both sides? Or do you feel this more in the outer leg? Just notice. Good to know. And then relax it, cross your shins, and come on up to a seat. Take a few rounds of breath through the nose, just sitting in your body. Dropping from head into the heart. Dropping out of linear time into the heart time, which is much different. Aquarian energy tends to be very heady, very intellectual. We want to work with that in the most healthy way possible, which is to drop our own minds into our hearts, which is the Aquarian work of a lifetime. Lift the chin toward the sky, left ear toward left shoulder, chin toward the chest, right ear toward right shoulder, chin to the sky. Let's go the other way, right ear toward the shoulder, chin to the chest, left ear, left shoulder, chin to the sky. Uncross your legs, take your hands back behind you, feet forward, raise the buttocks up and come on down. You can raise your toes and just have your butt hover just above the floor. Swing through your own body, feet flat, hips rise, head goes back, and then see how far back you can swing your hips. So you're like your own little swing set, swinging through the arms here. Hips up, head back, hips back. Don't let them touch the floor. 3, for some reason, this really seems to be promoting digestion. I can really hear my tummy. I guess that this is 1. And then come on down. Crossing the shins, take the hands forward. We'll spin the fingers back toward us at 6 o'clock. Move your knees back behind your hips and circle around your wrists. Clawing the floor. And then go the other way. Turn your hands forward. Take your left leg out to the left. And you're going to circle here. So you're going to have your left foot flat out to the side, and you're going to circle that left leg. So yeah, you're circling the right leg too, but the focus is on the left hip, knee, ankle. Go one way and then eventually go the other. And this is also a really neat way of getting into the hip, the knee, the pelvic floor. And it will liberate, it will free up low back that's trying to do the work of muscles it shouldn't be doing. And bring that side in. Turn those kegels on and do a few rounds of cat-cow. Just to invite that leg back into the hole. This is another thing Aquarian energy does. It really thinks about the whole and not as much about the individual. So when we're talking about our body, we'll take out a piece and then we'll look at it in the sense of the integrity of the whole, like we're doing now. And then take your right leg out to the side and same thing. Circle and think of the mechanism of movement happening in that right leg. So it's the right leg that's leading this work here, this investigation. And then go the other way. And try to have a sense of curiosity rather than perhaps dread or something else that might come up. Knowing that this information, whatever you're discovering, is a way for your brain to get more awareness and to heal it. Bring that right knee back to the hole, bring it under the right hip, engage the pelvic floor, and with the hands turned back or forward, your call, a couple rounds here of cat-cow. Coordinating with the pace of your own breath, or in my case, the snoring of two dogs. And then widen your knees, point your toes, send your hips back for an extended child's pose with the arms nice and long in front of you. If the shoulders allow, let the head drop. Soften the elbows to the floor, soften the armpits to the floor. And breathe into the shape, allowing heaviness, allowing gravity. Notice the areas that are easy to release and areas that resist. They're like, no. They're so locked in protection mode. My whole left shoulder, left pec, it guards my heart ferociously. Here in this moment, under this moon, can I let it go? A lifetime of guarding. Can I let it go? Will I? May I? Let it go. And whatever your thing is, coming forward, please substitute with that. Come forward onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes under, and take a nice, comfortable down dog. Comfortable in quotation marks, because for all of us, it's different. Pedal out your dog. For some, this may not feel pleasant. For others, this might be a sweet homecoming. So we turned on our calves a little bit, see if they want a little recognition here as you pedal out. Do the calves need a little attention from the brain? They certainly need our focus for circulation. Down through the legs into the feet. We don't have as many blood vessels there. So we need to stir it up with that piezoelectricity, that pressure, and then take small steps forward toward the top of your space. Unless you have a snapping turtle dog. I do right there, so I'm going to be cautious. Bend the knees, pull the heart forward. You can't see him, but he's there like a big bird. There he is. Inhale, hook up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, push down into the earth, rise up, circle the arms and reach tall. Grab that left wrist as you drive down through your left foot, lift up and toward the right. Look up with your eyes to the left. Left palm faces sky. Now, squeeze those thighs together, pull up the pelvic floor, take the arms slightly back as the hips go slightly forward. Inhale, come up. Hold that right wrist up and over, same thing to the left. Look up to the right, squeeze outer hips toward inner, pelvic floor lifting, belly lifting. Feel those obliques. Arms back, hips slightly forward. Inhale to the center, open the arms, feel the shoulder blades draw together, back bend. Let those shoulder blades catch you, beautiful. Beautiful. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms go wide as you fold forward. Soft knees, catch your torso. Inhale, pull the heart up. Exhale, step your left foot back, come into a lunge. Hands or blocks on either side of your front foot. I'm on my finger pads. Rock forward and back here. Daring that right knee to come forward. Go ahead and softly bring that left knee to the floor as you raise your right heel up. Bring your right knee forward of the toes.
bringing the back of the right leg toward the left calf. Sorry, back of the right leg toward the right calf. So the hamstring of the right leg touches the right calf muscle. I guess I said left because I feel my left side here a lot. Letting that left hip flexor kind of ease into this. Tailbone is under and that left hip just kind of hangs there. My hands are pretty far forward. Yowzers. Just let that sink. Now we're going to take it the other way. You're going to come back onto that left knee, pat it if that's useful, and flex your right foot as you straighten that right leg. You can be on blocks or fingertips. You're going to internally and externally roll that right leg. Keep that right knee slightly bent so that you're not straining any tendons. Hold it open in external rotation, and then walk your torso to the right. My hands are outside of my right leg. If your IT band is tight, you'll feel that here. As you suck your right thigh bone toward you and twist more to the right. And turn your head to the right, reach your left fingertips more to the right. And then from here, see if you can lift your left knee. So you're scissored to the right. We're going to take it all the way to the left to Prasarita. So 2 feet parallel facing the left side. Inhale, lift your heart. We're going to bend that left knee and now get that inner groin, that right inner groin area, adduction. Again, if this is tight, pelvic floor isn't working right, probably. So go ahead and poke right at that bikini line space from the sits bone to the hip flexor. And see if you can turn on the canopy part, that pelvic floor part. And does that allow the adductor, this shorter inner thigh muscle, to relax, which would be great. Okay. And then we're going to go to the right side, bend that right knee. So on this side, I don't have any pain in that groin, inner groin muscle, or much less, because this is the side where the pelvic floor was working, right? So I can just concentrate on that inner thigh muscle. I don't have to correct anything, but to see if what's up with for you in your body. Right, so those are pieces. Now we're going to bring it into the whole, 2 straight legs. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, hang forward. Integrating whatever shifts you made, lifting the arches of the feet. Allowing that inner knee to turn on, inner groin to turn, inner thigh muscles, pelvic floor muscles. And then the spine is free to let go. Let it just hang beautifully here. Maybe some sound. Bringing some vibration, some current into the practice. Very important. Pivoting toward the front foot. Be careful of your joints. 2 feet forward. Inhale, pull the heart up. Exhale, fold. Let your head drop down. Palms down. Inhale, rise. Come all the way up. Lift the heart. Reaching tall. Grab the right wrist. Pull up and over to the left. Look up to the right as you bend. Oof. Hips forward, arms back. Squeeze the inner thighs, Kegels. Inhale up. Grab left wrist up and over toward the right. Look up to the left. Squeeze. Inhale through center. Let that back bend happen. And invite in that manifesting open heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive on down. Inhale, lift the chest. Step your right foot back into a lunge. Go forward and back here. Belly is in. Be comfortable in your hands. And just noticing what you notice. Now let that right knee come down carefully, pat it as needed with that left heel and come over those left toes. Bring the back of the left thigh to the left calf. So there's no light in between. And then let that right hip sink. Now, it's funny, so on this side, I don't have pain here, so it's not as in light, like I'm not like, I just get to be here and breathe. Whereas on the other side, it was educational. Like something's happening in the valley. We're losing our valley people. You're trying to come in and out. Okay, and then slowly straightening that front leg, shift back, flex that left foot. Let's roll that left leg internally and externally, lubricating all of these attachment muscles and area of the joint that might be a bit pre-arthritic, we'll say, or maybe a little inflamed, a little cranky. And we don't want to break our hips. We want to keep them really nice and healthy and youthful forever, for our whole lifetime. We want this baby to last. This is like a really good, old, like a car that we want to last a lifetime. And then, right, okay, so we're here. We're going to pivot to the left. So we're going to take our leg externally, left leg out toward the left, and pivot our hands over to the left. Reach, come onto your right fingertips and maybe walk that right hand a little more to the left too. And then suck that left thigh bone into the hip socket so that you get some nice sensation perhaps on that IT band area. If that is tight, you're gonna get it here, I think. Tuck your right toes under and see if you can lift both legs up. So you're in this crisscross over on your left, like kind of trying not to pee, and squeeze. We want to get fresh blood into the vulva area, that whole area, and get some health moving up into that system. Some fresh blood, some fresh good energy, oxygen. Now we're going to pivot all the way around to the right. Bring our feet parallel. Then that right knee side lunge. And did the shifts that you made on the other side stay? Or are there new discoveries here? Or maybe you're good, you just want to be present and breathe. And left side, bend that left knee. And center. Inhale, lift halfway. Bring your hands onto your hips, grip your hips, and lift from them to come all the way up to standing. Interlace your hands or grab a towel or a strap to bind your hands together. Roll your shoulder blades together as you lift your heart, take your head back, and then fold forward, wrapping your arms overhead. Get lift off here. Let the shoulder blades feel as though they're lifting away from the back. They draw toward each other. The elbows bend slightly, and you engage your upper arm muscles. Tummy draws in, and then you dare to lean forward more than you want to. So the caboose is usually hanging way in the back here. We want to bring it forward. It'll feel like you're falling. Please don't fall. But it will feel intense, especially as those hamstrings start to tuck. Maybe the knees need to be a little bent if there's any pain there. Push down through the floor, inhale, rise all the way back up. Okay, take your arms out to the side, we're still facing the right. And either hold opposite elbow behind you, reverse prayer behind you, or some other variation. You're going to pivot to your right, facing the back of the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, open the chest. Exhale, dive forward over your right shin. If you need your hands there for balance on the floor, move them there. Chest opens, belly, center of the tummy aligns with the right thigh. And we just bow into the knee, paying homage to the body, homage to our past. We just use the word thank you as a prayer. And on every exhale, just acknowledge and thank whatever it is, this moment, breath, body. Whatever's coming forward for you. Push down to the left heel to rise. Pivot to the front. Maybe switch the arms in some configuration. Inhale, lift the heart, pushing weight into the right foot as we back bend. And then we fold over the front leg, deep into that hip socket that we looped up. We can rest there now. And we bow. This is a very humble bowing pose on purpose. It's meant to humble, quiet, and a beautiful place to let the heart practice really start to open up as we say thank you. Bringing the hands down to the floor, step your way back into a nice strong plank. Pulling wrists toward ankles and vice versa. Broaden the shoulders, tummy lifts up and the neck is free and long. Bend your elbows to chaturanga. Upward facing goddess. Look up here, smile. Kegel. And then roll over the feet, downward dog. Send the right leg up, squeezing your hamstring muscles. Open that right hip. And circle that right leg all the way around. We've done so much of this, we won't do too much here. Go the other way. And then bring that knee up onto that right shoulder as you come forward toward a plank. Take it across to the left arm, back out to the right arm, and then land that right leg into half pigeon. Bring your left leg into 90-90. And I'm just going to open the door for that. You're in 90-90, right leg is forward, left leg is back. Check that you are aligned. Lean back behind you. Push down through your left ankle, left inner ankle, and try to engage the inner thigh muscles as you lift the inner right knee. You don't want to lift it very high. So left ankle pin down as you lift inner left knee. Now bring the inner left knee down and try to lift the inner left ankle up. The idea is not to actually lift the ankle, but really to engage the opposite muscles. Those, in this case, it's the peroneal muscles that would lift the ankle. Okay, now go ahead and slide into half pigeon. And you may notice that there's an ease or more depth or something interesting about that. You can fold forward. Nice strong flexion in that front leg. Front foot is flexed. Front thigh is zipping in. Engage the pelvic floor muscles and see if that changes the feeling in your right sits bone piriformis area. Option to bend the left knee and hold that left foot with the head on the floor. So you can hold the left foot with the right hand or left hand, but I like the right hand right now for this. And my head is on the ground. But again, I'm kind of in a weird wobble because of bruiser. Carefully release that. Raise your torso And you're going to take this dynamically into a flip dog situation. So you're going to tuck your left toes, push yourself up. As you do this, kick your right leg to the sky, bend the knee, flip over, and take some kind of back bend variation there. Whatever feels safe and gorgeous. Yeah. And this is just full opening to the energies, to the what's coming, what's here. Because that's what we have to work with, right? We want to work with what is and bring it into us. We become part of the whole. We don't want to fight it. It's too hard, too much. Come back over, plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale back, gorgeous, down dog. Stretch through your thumbs. Lift that left leg up to the sky. Contract the back of the leg as you open the knee up and circle that left hip. Nice. Relax your neck more, Taylor. And then go the other way. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And then send your left knee to your upper left shoulder. Beautiful. Keep that right shoulder blade down as much as you can. Take the knee across to your right arm. Beautiful. Left arm. And then go ahead and slide it into that half pigeon for a moment. And then 90-90. Lean onto your left hip. Align your legs into two straight lines. 90-degree angle. And lean back. Push down through your inner back ankle. And lift the inner knee up a little bit. The idea is really to push down, not to just let that knee come up. You want to push down and make it difficult to lift that inner right knee. So you're engaging, again, I'll tell you what I'm feeling, but you might be feeling really different things. I'm actually shaking, which is cool. I'm feeling my under right glute, so my under butt on the right side. And then lower that right back knee down and see if you can push down through that, seal that down into the floor. And try to, oh my gosh, lift that back ankle up. And when you're doing this right, you might cramp. I mean, it's meant to be difficult in a certain, very specific way. That's the point. And then slide it into half pigeon. Let the head come down if that feels right for you. And be careful of any issues, any knee joint thing. Lots of flexion through the front foot helps. Sucking that front thigh into the hip socket helps. Take the pressure off the knees. And if it feels right, you can bend that back leg. Hold on to the foot and let the head drop. Getting perhaps a nice deep stretch in the front of that right leg. Just to let deep quad release. Carefully let that foot go. Tuck your right toes under, send your left leg up. You're gonna come into upward flipping dog. Which is different than what low that is did, which is flipping out dog. So tuck your back toes under, kick your back leg high, bend the back knee and flip it over. And just make it gorgeous in whatever way speaks to you. Feeling open, feeling the any resistance fall away. Beautiful. And then mindfully come back over to your down dog. Stay in your down dog. Is the service really choppy, you guys? Feels kind of choppy on my end for some reason. Hopefully it's okay. And then lower knees, chest, chin to the mat. Slide through into cobra, lift your heart up. Gorgeous. Exhale, push back into child's pose. Hands go back to your feet. And just a puddle here. Feeling gravity. Modify this if it isn't a good pose for you. Let the armpits soften, let the face soften. Surrender here.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale, soften something else. Draw the belly in and roll up using that same rolling pin in reverse concept. And then you're going to slide your legs forward, come down onto your back. Turn your head to the right and to the left. Center, look behind you, chin to the chest, and then go the other way. Take a deep breath here. Open the mouth and sigh it up. Widen your feet to the edges of the mat and slowly windshield wipe your legs. As you do this, be aware of the belly, these deep, deep abdominal muscles, and their connection to the legs, the hip flexors, how they sew the trunk and legs together. They're like these suspenders that connect the upper and lower body. Let the knees fall to the right. If it feels okay, put the right heel on the left upper knee. Stretch your arms back overhead and grab that left wrist and pull a little bit to the right. Lifting your hips just slightly to get a deeper stretch from that left hip flexor, left psoas. A little more tension in there. And then we release it and hopefully the muscle relaxes, right? So we turn it on and then we want it to turn off. Often it does not, right? So just something to be aware of. Take your right heel off the knee, engage deep in the belly. Use your belly, these deep muscles, to pull you back to the center. If your hip flexor didn't turn off, usually that's enough to help it. Now let your knees drop to the left. Maybe that left knee goes on top of the right upper knee. Grab hold of your right wrist with your left hand and gently pull. Pressing your right knee toward the top of your mat and your right arm a little more toward the left back corner. You're engaging, you're stretching and engaging by engaging that right glute. Just a little bit, you get a deeper stretch on that right front body. And then let it go. Relax the tension, let your heel come off the knee. Engage deep in the belly, bring the knees back to the center. Pause here, the knees collapsed in, fallen bridge. Let your arms relax down a bit and grab your head. Lift from the base of the skull, roll the right ear toward the right shoulder. And then guide the left ear toward the left shoulder. And then let the globe of the head center. Bring your fingers to where the atlas meets the axis, right at the head and neck place. And slide your fingers on either side of center. And balance the head right on the fingers, getting this deep acupoint release here. And then let the head go all the way down to the floor. Toe heel your feet together and go through that proprioceptive technique of toe healing. Bringing the soles of the feet together, knees fall apart. Place a hand on your belly and one on your heart. Take a deep breath in. At the top of the breath, breathe in more. Audible sigh out. Two more like that, your own timing. After that last one, just notice the automatic response of the breath. How does it change? What do you notice? Let the legs stretch all the way out. If you need props for any part of you, prop yourself well. Get yourself comfortable, let the arms stretch out. Make any adjustments, attunements that are needed. Take a deep breath in and let it go. So to summarize this full moon, this Aquarian full moon, she loves to point out anything that we might be doing wrong, could need a little correcting, just a little loving correction into the middle, back onto our path. So it may not feel great at first, but we also have the superpower of this moon, the full moon, which helps us to release. So we can recognize whatever it is and let go of whatever is preventing the correction. Whatever ego structures holding it in place, whatever resistance we might have. Or maybe the correction itself, most likely it is a release of some kind of distortion, misunderstanding, a limited belief that we once had that's still operating in our life, and maybe not directly in us, but the way we see others, or the way we have others sort of turned other people into. Maybe we can release those roles that we've cast them in. Let yourself drop into the space of the heart, this toroidal field which connects us to all beings. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Deeply breathe in. Exhale. Take a deep breath. Use this exhale to drop even more into the body, into the heart space, shedding architecture that no longer serves. When you feel ready, yawn and stretch. And roll carefully to your right side, coming into a fetal ball. When you arrive in this shape, this round, embryonic shape, imagine a safe womb around you, the safety of where you are, the safety of the loved ones around you, who you've collected in your life, you've brought around you deliberately, consciously, and with that same awareness, breathe love into your own body, all the way out through the skin. Working from the cells. All the way out to the whole, the collection of the whole. The collection of this group. Collective of your loved ones and your chosen family. And the collective of all beings. Pushing down to rise up, finding a tall seat. Letting your spine be strong and nimble. Right? A muscle that is strong is one that can engage and let go. Lift the arms up to the sky. Holding the palms, bringing your own prayer down over the third eye, over your lips, past your throat to the heart. We connect with all beings here, sending out our song, that one Om, touching all hearts. Inhale. Om. Thumbs to forehead. 15 years ago, I started going into labor with Finley. It's like amazing. I had her on the 3rd. So we're having a little party for her tonight. And it's all very exciting. Thank you for your cake tips, you guys. Bowing to one another. Bowing to all beings, to the miracles of this life. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with me, for inspiring me, making me better. I love you all. Bye.